I hope you like it, but I spent hours cooking.
I'm sorry, I can't stay. I have a date with my boyfriend.
My name is Jake Morrison. I'm 34, and until recently, I thought my life was perfectly stable. I had a great career as a marketing director in Austin, a comfortable home, and a 7-year marriage I believed was strong. I thought Rebecca and I were building something real together, but life has a way of surprising you in the cruelest ways. One evening, I decided to do something special. Things had felt distant between us lately. She was always busy, distracted, constantly on her phone. I thought a nice dinner might help us reconnect. I spent nearly 2 hours making her favorite meal: honey-glazed salmon, roasted vegetables, and wild rice. I even brought home a bouquet of white roses, the kind that used to make her smile so genuinely. When she walked in, she looked stunning in an elegant black dress I'd never seen before, but something felt off. She glanced at the candlelit table and offered a polite, detached smile. "Oh, this is cute." Not loving, not warm, just cute. The word stung. I tried to brush it off, to stay positive, but a knot formed in my stomach. Then she dropped the first hint. "I'm heading out for a bit," she said casually, checking her phone. "With who?" I asked, trying to keep my voice even. "Just some friends from work," she replied, but her eyes wouldn't meet mine. Just then, her phone buzzed, and the look on her face told me it was anything but simple. The truth came out moments later. She looked at me, her expression a mix of pity and impatience. "The dinner is cute, Jake, but I'm meeting someone special tonight." And just like that, my world tilted. She admitted her feelings had shifted to a younger coworker named David. She said their connection had grown over time, and that our marriage had been fading for a while. Then she turned and walked out the door, leaving me alone in the kitchen with a cold dinner, flickering candles, and wilting roses. Standing there in the silence, something inside me changed. This wasn't just heartbreak. It was a moment of absolute clarity. I wasn't going to fall apart. I wasn't going to beg. For the first time in months, I was thinking clearly. I sat down at the table and ate the entire dinner by myself. Not out of sadness, but because I needed the strength for what came next. I started digging. Not for revenge, but for the truth. I went through our shared bank accounts, bills, and digital files. That's when I found them: charges for luxury dinners I never attended, hotel stays, expensive gifts I hadn't known about. Then I remembered our shared cloud backup, a feature she'd asked me to set up months ago. It automatically sensed all her messages and photos. And there it was, everything. Months of messages between her and David. It started friendly, then grew personal, emotional, and intimate. They had a whole other life I knew nothing about. One message, sent just before she came home that night, sealed it. "Jake made dinner tonight. I felt a little bad, but I think he'll understand eventually." That was it. I had been living in a story that only I believed in. I collected everything. I wasn't fueled by anger, but by a need for honesty. I made organized digital copies of everything and sent them to my lawyer, to HR at her company, because it violated their policy, to her family, our closest friends, and even to David's parents. No angry accusations, no hateful words, just the documented truth. The final step was the most direct. They had both saved their social media login details to the shared cloud. I didn't write anything hateful or insulting. Instead, from each of their accounts, I posted a simple, clear statement. It explained that their feelings for each other had grown, and they were starting a new chapter together. It was nothing but transparent. The fallout was immediate. People were shocked. Some were disappointed, others were surprisingly supportive. But the truth was finally out in the open. When Rebecca returned a few days later to get her things, the world she knew had been turned upside down. She called me, her voice trembling. "Jake, someone posted from my accounts?" "That was me," I said calmly. And everything I shared was accurate. She told me she was overwhelmed, that her life was falling apart. She was worried about her job, her family, her friends. I reminded her gently, it wasn't meant to harm you. It was meant to be honest. She begged me to undo it, to reconsider. But in the same breath, she admitted she still had deep feelings for David and wasn't he ready to end things with him. So I stepped back and let the pieces fall where they may. By Monday, both she and David faced serious consequences at work. Their families had questions, their friends had concerns. Their new relationship, built in secret, couldn't survive the sudden exposure. It crumbled within a few months. The divorce was finalized quietly. Because everything was so clearly documented, she didn't contest anything. No arguments, no bitterness. Just clean closure. As for me, I healed. I found my footing again, in my career, in my home, and eventually in a new relationship built on a foundation of real trust. 6 months ago, Rebecca reached out one last time. A simple text. I made a mistake. If there's any chance to talk, please let me know. But some chapters are meant to end, and some doors are better left closed for good. Thanks for listening to my story. If you've been through something similar, know that you have the strength to get through it. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories.